Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then welcome to my channel, and I would love if you press the subscribe button. And if you are here for more videos, I stayed in 2 Airbnbs and I stayed in 1 hotel, and I just wanted to compare the difference between the 2 of them, as the price point was very different and my experience was also very different. If you're planning a trip to Iceland, one of the main things that probably come into your mind is cost. Iceland is very expensive. I did come to find out very quickly. I always have thought that people always say that London's expensive, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's pretty reasonable. But Iceland actually is expensive. It does cost a lot for something that is quite basic. I'm going to focus on 4 things with the Airbnb and the hotel. I'm going to be comparing the cost, the location, the amenities, and other things that I might have thought that were interesting and you might want to know about. I will be putting timestamps down below for those of you that are interested in going to either one of them. So do look in the description bar down below if you're interested in skipping to that particular part. In terms of location, our Airbnb was in the most pristine location. It was ideal because it was very central in Reykjavik, which is the capital city of Iceland, and we could pretty much walk anywhere we wanted to go. We did have a car, but we didn't use it at all because everything was in walking distance, and having to find parking and everything was it's just a pain. So we just ended up just leaving the car in our outside the Airbnb and just walking everywhere. So location wise, it was absolutely ideal. Cost. Now, this Airbnb that we stayed at was more expensive than most of them. I think we paid £450 for, I think it was 2 nights. So it was extremely expensive, a lot more than all the other places that we stayed combined. It's one more comfortable stay, and it does get dark around 6 p.m. in Iceland at this time of year, and it meant that we were going to be indoors a lot. So I thought, why not go for something that's more comfortable, looks nice, you feel good in it, because we are going to be there for a much longer duration in the actual trip. You can find Airbnbs that are extremely cheap and kind of 1 bedroom in a house or further out location, but it doesn't mean you have to travel in, and it does mean that you are sharing a bathroom and a toilet, which we didn't really want to do. So the third thing is the amenities. There were really kind of intricate finishing touches and parts of the furniture and a kind of African inspired design. There's a map of Africa. The apartment was designed by someone who could clearly tell knew something about interior design. There was a lot of furniture that was kind of matchy but also independent, but came together very well. The furnishing was very high end, and all the products in the house was also very high end. So it was a very comfortable stay, definitely worth the price that I paid for. One thing that I like about Airbnbs is that you do have everything that you would have at home. So you have a washer, you have a dryer, you have pots and pans, knives and forks. And this is really important, especially in Iceland, where you need to cook. You have to cook unless you want to spend a lot of money on food and eating out. It is extremely expensive. To give you a rough guide, we went to a cafe called Sea's Cookie, and we paid about £30 for just 2 fried eggs, 2 slices of toast, and a bit of salmon, and we paid about £30, and that was for breakfast. So can you imagine being there for 4 days, paying that much for every meal or more? We would have spent a lot of money on food. So we ended up going to Bonus, which is kind of like a budget store, a budget food store. We went there and we bought bread, we bought a loaf of bread, we bought a loaf of bread, we bought eggs, we bought everything we needed, and every meal from that meal onwards was cooked. So it's really important for you when you're considering whether you want to go for Airbnb or for a hotel or whatever you go for, to make sure that there is a kitchen or a kitchenette available for you to use. Otherwise it will be very difficult, or not even difficult, but it'll end up being very expensive. Another thing that I like about this Airbnb and Airbnbs in general is that you are able to get to know a specific person, a local, from the town or the city or the place that you're staying in. I think that's really important because they're able to give you kind of insider tips that you may not be able to get otherwise. And as a whole PDF guide on places to go, restaurants to stay at, and they even told us to get the fly bus from the airport to the Airbnb, which meant we saved so much money. I was just going to book a taxi and get there, but actually we saved so much money by getting the fly bus. Okay, so moving on to the hotel. Now the hotel we stayed in was actually in Vik, about, I'd say, about a 10-minute drive from the Skogafoss waterfalls in the south of Iceland. It's a very popular route to take when traveling around the ring road, or if you're there for a few days, people usually go up to Vik and stop there and go back. In terms of the location, it was a great location, so remote but also very accessible. So it was just off the main road, about 10 seconds off the main road, so you're very, very close to the main road to continue driving. We were facing the sea on one side, and behind us we had the mountains with a waterfall, so you can actually hear the waterfall when you wake up in the morning, which was super nice. The location is also great because it means that you have a chance to view the northern lights. Now I say chance because I didn't get to see them, and I thought I would, but I didn't, because the whole time I was there was just clouds. Obviously you're not going to be able to see them in the capital unless they're very strong and there are no clouds and no pollution, etc. But the chances of you seeing them in Vic or in the south coast are much higher. So location wise, 100% a much better location to be in to see the northern lights. In terms of the cost, it is much cheaper. Now I booked this hotel on Expedia, and because I am a member, I've got some offers I get. I think because I'm a member I get like 10% off or something, and also I booked a car with Expedia as well, and when you book a car you get, I think it's 40% off your next booking. So I booked the car first, and then I got 40% off any next booking, and I booked a hotel. So I was able to get like discounts. There are loads of discount codes that you can use as well online. So I was able to get the hotel for a really cheap price, even though it was in a beautiful location and it was such a beautiful space. The hotel itself was actually an ex-cow barn, so it was quite big, only 3 studio rooms, which meant that you were very intimate. You were able to see the host, the owner of the hotel. You were able to see them every single kind of day whenever you wanted them. They were right there. She's actually an ex-lawyer, so she has a passion for like the hotel business now. I felt like it was better to spend that much on a hotel than to go for an Airbnb in that location. This place had a kitchenette. It also had a kitchen outside, so it meant that we were able to have an oven, have a stove, and we just took all the food that we didn't use initially when we bought it for when we were in the city, just took them all there, and we were able to cook there. So we made eggs in the morning, we had noodles, pasta, rice, like you can make whatever you want. And the nice thing about it is that when guests leave their food unopened, they put it in the main kitchen, and you can go there and take whatever you want. So there was like unopened packets of pasta, rice, biscuits, oil, butter, like literally anything you needed were all there from previous guests. So it just meant that if you were missing something, you could always go and grab something from there, and it was just amazing. You also have the benefits of a hotel because it is a hotel. So you have someone that comes into your room every day and cleans your sheets, changes your bed linen, cleans the bathroom and empties the bins and things like that, and that's something that you don't get with the Airbnb. It's a really, really great location if you're thinking of being somewhere kind of close to Vic but not quite in Vic. Which one's better, the Airbnb or the hotel? In terms of my experience, I think I enjoyed the hotel a bit more. That was mainly because of how kind of picturesque it was, and the fact that we were staying in this location with a waterfall behind us, with the sea in front of us, and it was just so ideal. If you're deciding between going for a hotel or going for an Airbnb, that's really up to you, but I would say the one thing to consider is the location. Where is it located, and how are you going to get to where you want to get to next? And secondly, does it have a kitchen? Does it have somewhere that you can cook some food? Because that is where you're going to save the most amount of money staying in Iceland. Really hope that you enjoyed the review of my hotel and the Airbnb that we stayed at in Iceland. I will leave all the links down below for everywhere that we stayed, and please do watch my previous video to see what I got up to and my itinerary of the south coast of Iceland. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because you should have in the beginning. I will see you in my next video. Bye!